Hi everyone, Dr. Chess Rob is here. Welcome to my chess clinic. Today we will talk about the Sveshnikov variation. Also, it's well known as Pelican variation. So in the Sicilian, we go for e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6. Pawn e6 can go with that too. Then d4 takes, knight f6, knight c3. We talked about the e6 in the previous video. We talked about the four knights. Remember the exclusion: knight captures, and then pawn to e5. We talked about the Richter rouser so far. And here, if black wants to go for a dragon, it's not that good. After knight takes, and then pawn e5, again attacking the knight. Here, bishop c4, bishop g7, g4, the knight is trapped. Like usually we'll force the knight back. White's position is much better here. But black will do another move. Sveshnikov is pawn e5. Again, what to not do as white? Let's start with that. And then what to do. So many players confuse this variation with the Najdorf, where after knight f3, d6, here, captures, knight f6, knight c3, a6, let's say bishop e3, e5, we wanted to do the move knight b3, then do f3, queen d2, the Yugoslav attack, g4, h4, just push those pawns. Here, it would be great. But in this scenario, because the bishop is open, one more time, this annoying bishop on f8, just a parasite, always invading through like narrow spaces, will jump to b4, and again, attacking the knight, trying to capture it and win the pawn, and after f3, one more time, the same story, d5. Captures, knight d5. Our position is now worse. Bishop d2, the only normal move to defend, because queen d5, we can't capture, it's a pin. And after bishop d2, bishop c3, b takes c3, bishop c3 will not help. So here, this endgame is much worse, because black has a really good pawn chain. Look at this pawns on c3 and c2. And after b takes c3, short castle. Yeah, we have two bishops, but our development is bad. Our king is still in the center. The pawns are weak. Black's position is way, way better. The problem is that if we will do the active move knight f5, after d5, we don't have any advantage. We can even get a worse game, like bishop f5 takes, and then queen d1 check, king takes or knight takes, then b takes c6. This pawn is a bit alone, but black has much better development and good control over the center, which definitely compensates, small issues on the queen side. So if we do knight f3, same bishop b4. We know that knight c6 is not good if we don't have a move e5. The move is useless. Next, black will play d5. So what to do? The main side effect of e5 is that the pawn is still not on a6 compared to the Najdorf. Again, Najdorf, the pawn is on a6. That's why e5 was okay. Here it's okay as well, but again, the main side effect is knight b5. The main idea is to get the knight to d6. If black allows that, a6, knight d6 check, takes, be very happy. Your position is now much better. This queen is so powerful. The dark squared bishop is gone. Black can't do short castle. They can't attack the queen with a minor piece. The only way is queen e7. You just capture. And if knight e7, bishop g5, then long castle, you can take and, destroy his pawn structure. If king e7, bishop g5, this is even worse for black because knight d5 will be a check. There is a pin, long castle. So here, it's almost resignable. Like loses a pawn or more. So if king e6, knight e7 check, knight c7 check, or first captures, takes, and then knight c7, getting the rook, and then knight will jump to b6. White is absolutely winning. So that's why black needs to play d6. And here we will try to do everything to use the d5 output. The best move is bishop g5. There is a line with knight d5 takes and then pawn captures. Very interesting, played in world championship matches as well. But I would recommend for bishop g5. I think this move will give you more chances, and also some opponents will do a very big mistake here, and white can win the game in 5 moves. h6 is that mistake. You just capture, and he can't take with the queen because knight c7 check, winning the rook. And after g takes f6, look at this. Knight d5. Knight goes to c7. Both knights are very active. How to defend against it? Play rook b8. Okay, we can just have some fun and play like check and then back. And this king will not castle anymore. Of course, there is queen g4 check as well, which finishes the game instantly, like f5, queen f5. Just in case to show you that in the worst case scenario, you can check and come back, and black's position is just awful. There's just one word to describe it, awful. That's why black needs to play the move pawn to a6. Bishop e7 will not help, because takes, if it takes with the pawn, that's bad. If it takes with the bishop, either knight d5 or just win a pawn with the queen or immediately with the knight. Both scenarios are good. So pawn a6. Now we can capture. You will see this a bit later as well, and then forcing g takes, knight a3. But this is a big theory. Black is totally fine because they will get two bishops. They will exchange the pawns, will bring the bishop back, then d5, f5, bishop out, short castle. So it's not that easy for white. Our knights are not on a good spot. More strategical way is immediate knight a3. The knight wants to get to c4, e3, and get a control over the outposts, which we can do after bishop e. That's why black plays b5 with a very obvious idea to trap the knight. So one of the knights. And we play knight d5. Bishop f6 is also okay. Takes and then knight d5. This is a big line. f5 or bishop g7. But we will do knight d5. Bishop e7. Then we capture the knight with the bishop, and we don't capture it one more time. Our knight is 5 times better than this bishop. This bishop on f6 is a bit useless. Our knight has an outpost. We just need to get the replacement, the substitution for it. Pawn c4 or c3. We will not do the development. We'll try to bring this knight into the game as soon as possible. So c4 can help too, like b4, knight c2, let's say a5, bishop e2. And at some point, the bishop will get to g4, try to exchange the light squared bishop. The knight will get to e3. Or we will do c3, which is even more as a central line. And then knight c2, the knight wants to get to e3. And then you can play bishop e2 to do short castle, and then a4 or immediate a4 takes to open up the rook, to open up the square for the bishop, to try to attack this pawn on a6. Then bishop c4, if rook b8 attacking the pawn, pawn b3, and of course now short castle. Forget about the long castle in this variation. This is the Sveshnikov variation or Pelican. So here, pawn e5. Do not capture because you don't have e5. Don't do the passive moves with the knight. Don't get the knight to f5. Seems a very cool move, but there is d5. Play knight d to b5. Just remember that. Why people play a6 in Najdorf, in configuration, to not allow this. And after d6, this d5 square is very weak. Try to get it. Remove the defender, the knight on f6. Bishop g5, take it out. The knight goes to d5. Sveshnikov. This was the summary, and I'm gonna leave now. Hope that you enjoyed it. Again, hope that this variation will help you too. Like, subscribe, leave your comments, and I will see you in the next chapter. Today's clinic is over. Let's go and rest.